Here I am going for a run on the Pittsburgh shoreline. It's really beautiful out here. I didn't know Pittsburgh was such a cool city. Just got back from the temple late yesterday. And now, going for a run. Salvation through exercise. This has been the #1 tool I have used to beat everything from drugs in high school, from alcohol, anything and everything. If I don't get my exercise in, I'm done. The demons reign supreme. Salvation through suffering, as they say at Jim Jones. Earlier, I mentioned this concept of salvation through suffering. That is what Fearvana is all about. Fearvana is 2 words. Fear and nirvana. 2 seemingly contradictory words because fear and bliss don't often mentally go in our heads as together, but in actuality they're very much complementary. Fearvana is that state of true bliss we experience when we pursue our fears, when we engage our fears in a worthy struggle. Whether it be suffering, struggling in the gym to grow stronger physically, whether it be spending hours on a computer to write a book, or spending hours on a computer working on your business, whatever it may be. We don't get where we want to be unless we work hard for it. Nothing great ever happens by accident, and I think any successful person will tell you that, right? So that's what Fearvana is. It's pursuing our fears, it's pursuing struggle, and that's how we find our salvation. That's how I found my own salvation in the context of sobering up. When I first got off drugs in high school, that's when I decided to join the Marines. And making that decision literally overnight, quit drugs. And it's the same thing now. You know, since as I mentioned in my earlier video, the first one about this journey from alcohol to sobriety, from drinking alcohol to going sober, is that I had gotten to a point where I was really dark, where I was drinking much more regularly, and I got out of that phase, got to the point where it was really, really bad, thought about potentially even ending my life, and that was really horrific to think about. And to get out of that phase, I started training more, working hard more. Again, salvation through suffering, pursuing my fears, going skiing across Greenland, doing all these things, climbing mountains, doing all these things to push my body, push my mind, push my spirit, really. And I got to this point now, again, where I realized that it's no longer serving me, even in moderation, whatever moderation I was doing. Even if I went on binge drinking once in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I didn't like that. Now it's about going through Fearvana again. Finding something to challenge it. Challenge your mind and to silence your mind, to give you something to focus towards. One of the biggest mistakes I see people make in overcoming addiction, and I have, again, like I said, I have a lot of friends who've attempted it, and some of them failed, some of them have succeeded, and it's hard to always see that, but one of the biggest mistakes is people will go, cold turkey, quit drugs, quit alcohol, and then they go back to their same environment. They're going back to their same world, and nothing's changing. They're going back to maybe a job they hate, and I realize sometimes you have to survive, but you got to find something to channel, something worthy struggle. Exercise has been my salvation, but so has working on my business, so is writing my book, so is all these things from day one, is pursuing some struggle to grow in every way you can imagine. So that's actually probably my most valuable tip on how to beat this, is you got to fill that void. When you quit drinking, when you quit anything, when you want to change patterns, that pattern, that leaves a void in there. There's a reason I drank in the first place, which I'm going to go into in a later video, but whatever those reasons were, I have to find a way to fill that and channel that into something more productive for me. Being someone who's somewhat of an addictive personality, I decided to channel that addiction now to exercise, to my business, to serving people. I started a nonprofit foundation. All these things, to running across the world, which I'm about to start doing again. Or I already ran across 8 countries, and that was while I was drinking moderation. So now it's going to go a whole other level. So engage your struggles. Find a struggle that will be worthy of you. It doesn't have to be running an ultramarathon. It doesn't have to be, what I'm doing at all. Find your own struggle. It doesn't have to be building a business. It could be moving up the corporate ladder. Whatever it may be. Something that challenges you. Something that pushes you. Test your limits. And not only will that make you just freer, it'll make you grow in every way, it'll also just make you happier. Which is ultimately what it's all about, right? That's why I'm wearing my shirt here that says, attack life, it's going to kill you anyway. So attack it. Attack your demons, attack life, embrace it, and it'll make the journey so much more fun, I promise you. And that's how I have beaten alcohol. That's probably my most important strategy, separate from removing that internal conflict, but once I've removed it, I've had to channel that energy somewhere else, and it is through Fearvana. For me, Fearvana looks like exercise and working on my business. Those are the main two methods for me. Find your own. When you commit yourself entirely to an ideal, when you struggle for your greatness, you become that legend. You find that inner legend within you. Paulo Coelho talks about it in his book, The Alchemist. Beautiful. I love the way he puts it. We all have a personal legend. And Fearvana is the secret to finding that personal legend, because you don't become a legend by sitting on the couch. You become a legend by pushing your limits in every way possible. And again, this is about your legend, not about somebody else's legend. It's about finding your own personal legend. So let's do it. Subscribe to the Fearvana channel and join me again tomorrow for more strategies on what's working for me on how to get sober. And once we figure this whole thing out, we do this together, we're going to work on some other challenges, some bigger, better, greater challenges. And feel free to comment as well below. Let me know what you're struggling with. Feel free to reach out to me. I'm here to help. Get help from other people if you need it, family, friends. This journey can be really hard, but we can do this together. That's what I'm here for. Let's do this thing together, and we will become that legend.